So I want to present you with the research, with the study. The name of the study is Modeling the Development of the Tourism Industry using Koba-Douglas function for Intelligent Management System. And the authors of the study is Nestor Shpak, Ihor Novakivskyi, Ihor Kulyniak, Viktoriya Kharchuk, and Ihor Oleksiv. We conducted the study about the tourism industry in Ukraine, and we applied Koba-Douglas function in order to do this. So here on the slide, you can see the purpose of the research, right? And the purpose of the research is to study the model of the dependence of the development of the tourism industry in Ukraine on factors of production, and specifically we researched labor and capital factors. We also decided to use Koba-Douglas production function as a tool. And in order to achieve the stated goal, we decided to apply the following task. And the first task is to analyze the dynamics of growth rates in the volume of products sold, capital and labor costs of travel agencies, travel operators, and organizations providing booking services. The second task was to analyze the dynamics of labor productivity and fund intensity of travel agencies, travel operators, and organizations providing booking services. At the end, the third but not least task was to apply Koba-Douglas function model and to study the impact of factors, specifically capital and labor, on the development of tourism industry in Ukraine. In the capacity of the resulting indicator, we used a volume of sales of products. Here is the mathematical apparatus which we applied in order to conduct the study. Specifically, we used Koba-Douglas production function. Yeah, and you can see it. We also minimized the function of the Koba-Douglas in the Koba-Douglas function in order to find the minimum, and yeah, and that's basically the model of our research. Here, a few words about the data. Okay. So we used statistics from QUED 2010, and specifically we used statistics right from the section 79, section N of section 79, activities in the field of administrative and support services. And section 79 is divided into two groups. The first group is activities of travel agencies and operators. This is group 79.1 and is divided into classes. And the first is activities of travel agencies, and the second is activities of travel operators. And we also used the other part of section 79, provision of other booking services and relative activities. So here are the data which we used in our research. So volume of products, goods and services sold, capital, percentage by compared to 2013, labor costs of enterprises, right, and percentage by costs by 2017, and labor productivity. So the last indicator is the fund intensity, which is in the last column of this table. Here are the data which reflect the activity of providing booking services of Ukraine. You can, sorry about this, you can see them on this slide, and they are the same as for the operators and for the travel agencies. Basically, those are the data which were used for the research. The dynamics of presented indicators, of mentioned indicators, are presented on this slide, and here there is the growth rates of indicators reflecting the activity of travel agencies, activities of travel operators and booking services. And you can see that by 2021 it was mostly a steady growth. That was mostly a steady growth, and the growth was hit by two factors. First, in 2019-2020, there was the COVID pandemic. So basically that impacted the level of provided services, right? And in 2021, those numbers picked up and they increased, right? And again, probably because of the war, they will go down a bit again, not a bit, but significantly again. But here the situation which we had since 2013. When it comes to dynamics of labor productivity and fund intensity, the situation is actually mostly the same. So the numbers were relatively stable. Okay, they were relatively stable. Then they went down in 2020, 2019, and then they picked up in 2021, because generally the tourist industry started to recover. And here are the results of our calculations. We calculated alpha and beta coefficients, right, for labor and alpha coefficient for labor and capital. And here are our the functions which we developed. And here is the dynamics of capital, right? And the dynamics of capital and labor efficiency. And this is based on the average model development of the tourism industry in Ukraine. So here are some of the conclusions of our research. As a result of the study, we found out that different subjects of tourist industry, the level of influence of labor and capital on the results of several activities is different. Analysis of the dynamics of the indicators that reflect the development of the tourism industry has shown that for travel agencies and organizations providing booking services, the growth rate of labor costs exceeded the growth rate of capital, which indicates that personnel is a key resource in the development of organization. For travel operators, on the contrary, the growth rate of labor costs is lower than the growth rate of capital, which indicates that capital is key resource in the development of travel operators. It was found that for travel agency, work with significant advantage has a greater impact on the results than the capital. For travel operators, capital has almost twice as much impact on the result as labor. For booking services organizations, on the contrary, labor has twice as much impact on the result as capital. We can state a tendency to increase the volume of products sold by tourism industry entities, as well as the cost of capital and labor costs, except for periods of exposure on unpredictable factors such as Russian invasion and COVID pandemic 2019. Here I want to finish with my presentation. Thank you very much.